In time. It's rotating.
Okay, we're live.
Hi. Yes, we're live. I'm gonna be opening on Instagram. Hi everyone. Let
Hi
me
everyone.
let me go live on
Yeah.
IG. Oh yeah, we are live. Okay, guys. Can I ask you a question, right? What if the thing standing between you and the life that you really, really dream of is not lack of opportunity, but unanswered questions. Okay, because tonight we're going to answer the exact questions that we both asked before we started our business. Okay, so hi everyone, my name is Coach Angel. Let me introduce myself. I am a mom of three boys, a digital business coach at night, and an IT professional by day.
Multiple
So
personalities.
welcome to our live tonight. And if you are here on this live, please drop hello in the comment section and let us know where you are joining us from. We would like to know you. Please, guys, stay with us, okay? Because these questions are very, very important because these are the exact questions that we ask. Because to be honest, just like every normal person, when they want to start something, they ask questions, right? So those are the questions that we're going to be asking tonight. I will let Folake just do a brief introduction about herself, then we can jump right into the questions. So sit tight with us.
Hi everyone. For those that are joining us for the first time, my name is Falake. I'm a mom of two. I'm based in Canada. I'm also a professional and IT professional. And like Angel, IT professional at day and digital business mentor at night. And I run this business with my husband, Dotun.
All right. So here we go. The first question is, Folake, is this business a legitimate business?
Haha. One, should I say 1,000%? 1,000,000%, if there's anything like that. Yes, it is a legitimate business, and I'm going to break it down right. So, first things first, in Canada, we get a T4A. We file our taxes at the end of the year. And in order to file your taxes, I mean, if you live in Canada, you understand that you file your taxes. In order to file your taxes, we get a T4A from our business partners to show that this is what was paid to us as commission all through the year. And then based on that, we're able to file our taxes with the government. If you're in the US, it's 1099. In the UK, they file their taxes online. I can't remember what it's called, but so what it means is that for every single thing you do with this business, it is legit, it is legal, it is 100% legal because you file your taxes at the end of the year. You're able to remit to say, these are also, and then when you're also filing your taxes, you have the opportunity to say, these are the business expenses that I expended on my business for the year. Sometimes you get a refund from the government to show that I expended this was what I made. So long and short is that for you to be able to run this business to show that it is legit, we file our taxes 100% legit. Yeah.
Awesome, Folake. So for me, because I'm an immigrant mom, trust me, guys, I wasn't looking for another shining object or a really get rich quick scheme, okay? Or anything that will get me into trouble. Me, I don't like trouble. I wanted to sleep well at night. So when I heard my coach said, "Oh, you will receive your tax documents at the end of the year," and when I was signing my contract, she asked for a government approved, government issued ID card. I'm like, this is it. Okay, so I like, okay, this is legitimate because they're asking for the things that you need in order for you to start a legitimate business. And yes, February I got my T4 and I was over the moon. I'm like, yeah, this is real, this is legit. So
Yeah.
let's move on to the second question. How much time does it take? Like how much times do you spend on the business to build it?
So when I first started, I mean, if you think about it, you're starting something new, right? You're learning new skills. It's just like when you start on the job, you spend some time trying to understand the job. So there was a learning phase for me. And then during the learning phase, because like this business is, even though you don't have any experience in terms of marketing or in terms of tech skills, you have trainings that will put you through them. So when I started this business and I was training, I was on maternity leave. And so I was trying to rush to ensure that, oh, let me finish it on time and get it done. But so technically, when you're learning in your learning phase, you might probably spend a longer time trying to understand the business, which is fine. But right now, in a day, I probably spend like an hour. And that 1 hour is because I'm just like, oh, you know what, let me just respond to some people that send messages on maybe my business line or on my social media. So, and don't forget also that I have a 9 to 5. So I have my 9 to 5, and sometimes in a day, sometimes I might not even touch the phone or I might not do anything concerning the business. So it depends on what comes in. So if I say technically, give or take, in a day, I do 1 hour, 1 to 2 hours, usually 1 hour on the business, and that's how it's been for me. And there are sometimes I'm just like, you know what, I just want to unwind. I don't want to do anything about the business. My business is still running because it is automated. Yeah.
Absolutely. That's a good one. For me, this was a huge one because I already had like a full-time career. I have a product-based business, and if you're a boy or if you're a boy's mom and you're on this life,
Yeah,
you
great.
know, you know, you know how we roll, right? So
Yeah.
I did
So
not have an extra time at all to give, right? But what I discovered with this business is that the consistency is what matters. Okay, that's all that matters more than having lots of time, because most people are surprised that you can start with a few focused hour a week and build from there. For me, when I started, it was just 1 hour that I had. So my kids usually go to bed around 8. So once they go to their room around 8, I just do a quick prayer with them. I would just come back to my room. I block off that 8 to 9. So that 8 to 9 was when I was building. But right now, as for like I said, the business runs like 90% automated, right? So right now, I am spending maybe like 2 hours. Why? Because I now have like a team, right? I'm a coach, so I have like a team. Other than that, almost everything is automated, right? So 1 hour a day, you will build momentum as you
yeah,
grow your business. Yeah.
yeah.
So let's move on to the third question. Can I do this while working full time?
Of course, an example, I'm working full time. Angel is working full time, and I'm a mom of two boys under 3. So I have a busy schedule. I have a 9 to 5 job. I go into the office 3 times in a week, and I'm still running this business, and we are still here showing up. So of course you can run this business with your 9 to 5, 100%.
Absolutely. This is one another question that I really love because that's exactly what I did, right? Like as Folake said, I still work my 9 to 5. And the funniest thing is I actually have a product-based business, guys, even on top of this one. So I did not walk away from all that responsibility. Like I just built along, right? And that's one of the reason I connected with this business because it works for busy working professionals, because it's not like any other kind of business that you have to adjust your schedule to fit in. So this one you can literally adjust,
It fits
the
away.
business adjusts to fit into your schedule that you have already. So that's one of the things that I love about this business.
Yeah.
So the fourth question, I think that would be okay. No, we still have one more. So the fourth question is, do I need experience?
No. So I'm going to say something, and it's always been a joke that for me, I've never liked anything that has to do with marketing or even selling. You know, back in Nigeria, when you talk about marketing, yeah, when you say marketing, you're like a salesperson on the bank and all of that, right? So I've never liked marketing. I've never liked sales. I've always said I'm a full-time 9 to 5 babe. Anything outside of that, count me out of it, right? So starting this business and then just looking at it as, you know what, I never had any marketing experience, but I'm doing it right now. If you wake me up in the middle of the night and ask me about this business, I'll start talking about it. So you have trainings that will put you through how to even, what to even do, what to even say, how to even go about social media, how to even market, what to do. You would have you have trainings that will guide you through step by step. So no, going back to Angel's question, you don't need marketing experience. You don't need any experience. You don't need tech skills. I didn't have marketing experience, and I've been doing this for about a year right now. Well, I'm in the IT space, but even at that, there are different levels of tech experience. I never had like all kind of, I wasn't even a social media person, but now I'm doing this. So more to say that you have experience, you don't have experience, you can do this job. We have people that are in their 60s, 65 doing it. People that are retired that didn't have any experience and they're doing it, and they're thriving very well in this business.
Yeah, I feel like you're spot on that because for me, when I started, there were so many things that I did not know how to do. Like coming on here, this life that I'm here right now, there's literally a training that guides you on how to do your life. Like
Yeah,
I wasn't, so even social media, as well, like I said, I wasn't never a social media expert. I was one of those people that post picture once in a while, and people would think maybe I'm celebrating something, when I post. And one of the things that really got me was before I started the business, I actually thought that you need a huge social media follower, right, to succeed. But as I started my business, I later realized that those were just
yeah.
not true. So let's move on to the next question. What support is available?
Okay. We have a whole lot of support. I'm going to piggyback to what I said earlier on in terms of the trainings, right? So outside of the business community, I'll talk about the business community. So, but first things first, the trainings, right? You have tools, even how to use AI. You have trainings on what to do, how to. I remember when I started, I really even didn't know how to use Canva and all of that, right? And then you see online, people are selling all these online
Okay.
courses on how to use to do Canva and all of that. All of these things it comes as a package with our business. How to use social media, every single day. And then the most important thing for me is the business community, the support. You have to contact, you have mentorship, you have coaching. I'm sure Angel will be able to speak very well in terms of the coaching, right? So in terms of mentorship, you have people that will be there to guide you, hold your hands, so you are never left alone, to support you as you go through the business. So sometimes I remember back in Nigeria, I was in like an event planning business, right? One of the things that kind of like made me to stop doing that then was it was like more or less like we're just doing it alone, myself and Dotun. We didn't have that like that support, but here you know that you have that support. You have people to look up to that would guide you so that you can never fail in the business, right? So that support is there, 100%.
Yeah. And for me, just to add to what you just said, Folake, this was really big deal for me because I know what I went through figuring out my product based business. Like I didn't want to go through that process, right? So when I started my business, what really gave me confidence was seeing the training, the mentorship, the step-by-step guidance, and the community support. Guys, we have almost 300,000 people in our community globally. Okay. And do you know what it means to have access to all of those people? We have like an app that is strictly designed for our community alone, right? Having everyone there, you can search up their name and you can ask anybody question there, right? So when you have any question, you are not going to Google to kind of figure it out. And one thing that I really love about this is the fact that a lot of digital business that people sell, once they sell, what they're selling to you is like the webinar that they've recorded and all of that, and that's where it ends, right? If you want a mentorship or a coaching one-on-one with them, you have to pay extra, and that doesn't come cheap, right? But in our program, even though you have access to this step-by-step video-based training that a 5 years old can actually watch to build their business, right? You still have access to a coach, right? Like me, my team members, they reach out to me and I guide them, right? My coach did the same thing to me when I first started. If I didn't have her at the beginning, I'm sure I would not be here today. But having her, because I was very, very scared and anxious when I started, because it's a new thing that I started. Like I didn't know my left to my right, knowing that, knowing me being a very, private person even makes situation worse because I was so afraid. I'm like, oh my God, I'm going to show my face on social media. I
Oh,
don't
there.
like and all of that. But she was there because she is an introvert, right? She's an introvert. She's very shy. So she was like, see, if I can do this, don't worry. I give you 1 year and you will be a different person. And I can attest to that. Here am I, a different person. All right, moving on to the next question. What almost stopped us from starting? So, what almost stopped you from starting? You can start.
A lot, actually. And For me, I think the first thing was the fear of the unknown, right? Will I thrive in this business? I'm a very private person, right? I'm not one to come on social media. I'd never done live in my life. I'd never done even speak. I'm the kind of person that would just stay indoors. I'd rather just Netflix and chill. I don't need to talk to anybody. I'm reading a novel. So that's the kind of person I am. I'm an introvert. I can be in a place no one would know I'm there. And then coming out to do this kind of business, I was like, first things first, am I sure about this business? Do I want to do something like this? And again, I thought about it. Well, if I could come all the way from Nigeria to come to a country where I had to start from basically from the scratch because I didn't know anybody here. It was just me and Dotsu, and then we started all over again. Okay, let's give it a try. What's the worst that can happen? So those are some of the things that almost did not make us start because we're just thinking that, are we sure we want to do this? But you know what? Let's take the risk, right? And if you think about most people that are successful in this life, they started by taking a risk. So we're just like, you know what? What's the worst case scenario? And again, I was like, this online thing, I beg, I'm not sure, but let's try it out. And here we are. And we are like the champions to carry our business for head like this. So
So for me, it's similar to yours too. Mine was, to be honest, it's fear. My fear of what people would think. Me, I don't like people looking.
you're like, this is what
Do
the
you
person is doing.
do you know that if I take pictures, like I have pictures on my phone that I've never posted, like nice pictures. Or let me look at it. I said, I don't want to post it. I don't want to look at it, right? So fear of what people will think, fear of being visible online. Since I'm a very private person, right? Just like you, for like fear of failing. But then I asked myself a different question. I'm like, what if staying exactly where I am at that time was the bigger risk, right? What if I look up, 5 years from now and nothing changes, the same circle, the same paycheck? So that question really hits me hard. The direction I was going to, I wanted more, right? So that really hits me hard. And I'm like, you know what? I'm like, let's go in. Is either we succeed or we don't, right?
Yeah.
That's what can happen, right? So that's it for me. So I think this is our last question. What made us finally say yes?
For me, was the business, the testimonials. I'm not going to lie, especially Dotun. Dotun is the kind of person that, even though he's a Yoruba guy, he has the mindset of an Igbo guy. Anything, he likes money, and it's like, you know what? This thing, it looks interesting, especially when I was hearing and we're seeing testimonials of what people were making online and how in a month you're able to earn more than what you earn at salary, where some people were earning more than 30, 40,000 in a month, and being able to build houses, buy things, pay off their mortgages. And we're like, okay, this is interesting. And then another thing also was the fact that going back to some of the things we had said earlier, apart from the fact that it's a legit business. You know what they call kalu kalu in Yoruba, like all those. So, but like, oh, it's not that kind of a business. It's legit, and then you're consistent. You're seeing what you're doing, and you're making money out of it. But like, let's give it a try, right? So to be fair and to be honest, the business testimonials caught my attention and caught the team's attention. People are really making money online. I beg. Nigeria know the carry last.
And
We
I
will
don't
not
leave you behind.
don't leave it behind. The fear of make they leave it behind. I beg. I beg you.
FOMO.
Exactly. So
Do
that
you
was
know? You know why I'm laughing? Because for me, it's the same thing. Like, I love money. I love money because I always say that I came across this business in 2022. I paid my
it.
access fee in 2022. So when the business came back to me in 2024, I was on a Zoom call with this coach, and
Yeah.
this person opened their back office from
Ah,
July to December, over 100 and something K. I say, we die
oh,
here. I
we
say
die. We go nowhere.
in this abroad. I say, if I hear,
We go
please,
nowhere.
where is the contract? Where is the contrast? So more financial options was like
Yeah.
my first goal. And the second thing was I want to retire early, right? So I know that my 9 to 5 is not going to get me there. to have the kind of investments that I need for me to retire. So I needed like an extra stream of income. And thirdly, I love to travel. And when I travel, I don't travel light. I can't, if I go somewhere, I'm not staying in the best room with the best view. Like, I would rather stay in my house, right? So, because I know who I am, because I know my taste, I know that I need to create options, right? So, though that, to be honest, those are like the reason why, I started this business, right? So I wanted a future where I wasn't forced to choose between providing for my family and being present with them. That's like my biggest vision, because as a lot of you know on my page, you know that my I didn't have a present mom, not because she didn't want to be present, but life happens. My dad died when I was 6 months, leaving her with 8 kids. So the
Lot.
woman got to pay bills and take care of her children, right? So she was hardly around. So that is one of the biggest reason why I started my business, because I don't want anything making me miss my kids because I need to provide financially. All right. So those are some of the questions that we asked before we started. But if you on this live or you're going to watch the replay, if you have any more questions that we would have missed, or maybe we didn't thought of before to ask before we started, please leave them in the comment section. Okay. And if you want to learn more about this business, message either Folake or me, just type the word info and we'll be happy to share more details and also plug you guys into this proven system that we have been plugged to in the past 1 year. So thank you all so much for
And see you guys
tonight.
next week.
See you next week. Bye.
Bye.